The You Are Here podcast is brought to you by Anchor.fm. Anchor is a podcasting platform where you can record, edit, upload, distribute. You can do everything on the Anchor app. Everyone asks me, man, how do you put your how do you have a podcast? What are you doing?
Answer? What do you do?
What is it?
What
Dave,
do you do?
What is the answer?
Well, you go to Anchor FM, dude, and they give you the tools to create your own podcast, to monetize, to distribute. They have all these cool tools. They're very accessible.
Easy interface.
Yeah, easy interface,
Boom.
man.
You just go up. You can record right there. You can invite other people to the recording session.
Yeah.
And you just put it up right there. Manage the levels. Do everything.
Yep.
It have no minimum requirement of the audience to start earning money on your podcast.
That's right. So guys, stop asking Mikey questions. Just go to Anchor FM. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Easy.
Anchor.fm to get started. Welcome, everybody, to the You Are Here podcast. My name is Mike. Thank you for joining us. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every other podcast platform.
Well, what are the other platforms?
I don't want to name them all, man.
Go ahead.
Anchor.fm,
Yep.
Podbean, Castbox, Earworm. We're bringing it back. It's fake. www.youareherepodcast.co. We could not afford the M. I'm so happy to be here. It's been a great day.
Ooh.
It's a little bit late, but Dave,
Yeah.
you're here.
I'm here. I'm here with you.
And we also have a special guest today.
Oof.
Irina Gorovaia.
Dun. Gorovaia.
You.
I was nervous, dude.
You want to redo it? You want to redo it?
No, don't redo it. Don't redo it. Truly, don't redo it because the truth
Irina Gorovaia.
Gorovaia.
is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Known from the Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh.
Huh?
Are you?
And also
Yes,
the
you
recent film, The Magnificent Grey.
Yes.
true.
Yes. Don't forget the butterfly effect.
True. Oh, and the butterfly
is what I
effect.
had that written down.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk
We
about
can talk about it.
For sure.
Do you see
for
like
my reasons, for selfish reasons.
anxieties? Autumn. Did you know that? Oh, look at me. Just anyway.
Yeah,
Take
all
over.
Good. Do your thing.
Take over.
This is yours. This is your space.
Just 1 second. For most of my 20s and actually all throughout high school, I wouldn't tell people that I was in those films.
I believe that.
Because I wanted to get so far away from it.
Wow.
And the other week I ran into Andrew Tarzia from my acting class.
Shout out Andrew. Andrew, I love you.
Shout out Andrew. And he was like, Irina, I'm watching The Butterfly Effect on Netflix. And I'm like, that's Irina. He's like, you didn't tell anyone. And I was like, why would I tell anyone?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, guys, by the way, when I was 12.
Yeah.
Like it was such a, and then people would be like, hey, are you that girl? And I would lie. I'd be like, that's not me.
Whoa.
And we didn't really have smartphones back then, right?
Yeah.
So people couldn't just like automatically go on IMDb and be like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, weird, because I know you from somewhere. I'm like, weird, I bartend, I don't know. Maybe I've given you a vodka soda before.
Wow. Well, do you remember the first time that happened to you? You were very young.
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember.
But also when I was in the Royal Tenenbaums, because I was 10, I was in middle school. So those kids weren't really watching it.
Your own friends.
Yeah, like now
peers.
it's such a thing. Now on Halloween, I see 18,000 Margot Tenenbaums running around with like a fur coat. And I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's a really strange thing for me to kind of wrap my head around the fact that now I'm like an actress and producer and writer as a grown up.
I didn't even like introduce you. You just introduced yourself, and I feel really bad about that.
That's called professionalism.
I know. I feel bad I didn't give you a proper introduction. I'm sorry for cutting
That's
you off.
called, there's a mic in front of me and I'm going to use it.
But you are. You do it all.
like,
I did a little introduction, right?
You did. Sorry.
But we need a
Usually
special
I
Dave
do.
introduction.
Fuck. No, it's okay. You just did it.
So do it.
No, you did.
Hurry up.
She did it. She just did it.
Wait, what?
That you do all those things, and
I do all
I'm just
those
a big
things,
fan
yeah.
of yours. That's what I'll say. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Dave Lino, I'm a very big fan of yours too.
Thank
you too, Mike.
Man,
Thank
you
you.
too. All
I'm
of you
just
guys.
getting to know you.
Yeah, you too.
but
But I'm still a fan. I could
Your
tell.
kindness
I'm a
is
fan
like
too.
very infectious.
Oh, come on.
No. I'm serious. I don't really like to just throw
No,
away compliments.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a thing.
Thank you.
But I really appreciate the fact that when you ask someone something, you listen to what they're saying.
Oh boy.
Not very many people do.
Thank you.
In fact, I struggle with that because I'm like, when is it my turn? No, but it's hard. It's hard to actually listen and take someone in because it's scary.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course. And from all the different relationships and things that we experience in life, we get older, it's like sometimes it's hard to get back to, you know, how you were. Or if you're like, oh, do I have to change myself? Or I don't know. So it's I think communication is like a big struggle your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
Because it's scary.
It's, vulnerability of like any kind of share like that is super
Just think
scary.
about it. There's there's trillions of different types of people.
Yeah.
No one's the same.
Yeah.
And there's no person you can be like, oh, I talked to this person before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could just talk to the same way that I talk to this person with a different person.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole different experience every time.
Yeah. I just had that moment waiting for you at the train station over there. There was like a farmer's market in Jersey City. And I was sitting there with my book that we're going to do.
Yes.
And like I just paused everything and I kind of looked around and there were all these tents and people were selling vegetables and like empanadas and like all cool stuff. And then I was like, oh wow, every single person in this place is so different. Like, but living amongst each other in like this dance of like poetic like harmony and like they're all buying things that they prefer and like passing each other. These two lives are passing each other and like it was just it was a really cool moment. And I was like, oh man, I felt how cool it is to feel the that immense like unquantifiable like weight of a life. I felt the expanse of like a life in like each of these little people like passing through each other. And it was really cool. It was like a dance, man. It was really cool to watch. It's awesome. And everyone was so different, ethnicities and like preferences and like the faces that they would make. And like, I don't know, it was really cool to just stop and watch that. But I had that moment right before you got to the station. It's
fascinating because you realize both how important your life is and also how unimportant your life is.
Yeah. That's
right?
big.
I have this whenever I fly somewhere because you overlook a city with all the lights and you're like, wow, there's so many different people here.
Yes.
And each one is going through something.
Yes.
Each one is living such a full, rich life.
Yeah.
But like, so am I. Yeah. And we're all equally important, but also we're all connected. So we're all equally not important because it's like not about us.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Anyway.
I like that because it's like I get in my head sometimes about like we talk about like how that's very important to me. This going on here is very important to me. This stuff in here isn't as important.
Right.
So if that's important, this has to be important too. Otherwise, I'm putting out like I don't know, like half of what I am.
100%.
I'm not taking in life like fully at all because I'm not taking care of myself.
You can't really fully receive. How do I say this? You can't really fully give if you don't also know how to receive. Because you can't expect others to take you in and to open up if you're not.
Yeah.
It's not an equal relationship, I don't think then.
Yeah.
And you're not giving yourself all of the wonderful benefits that the people around you want to give you. There are people
you can't hear them, right? Like if they're trying to give that back to you, you can't really hear it.
If you're not offering yourself up, it's like kind of not fair.
Yeah, it is. It's halfway. Yeah, it's like one-sided.
Which is like nice, and sometimes that's all some people want, right? Some people just want to be listened to. And
then actually.
But there's also people that want to hear you, that want to help you with your pains and with your struggles and to tell you that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And if you don't accept that, like, it's tough. Do you know what I mean?
It's like, life, yeah. If you don't accept it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, dude.
Dave, how are you doing? How are you? I wanted to ask you. I didn't ask you.
I'm not going to say good because good is a placeholder for what's actually happening. I found out for myself.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, how are you doing? Good, I'm good. And then I'm just thinking, what's going on really? I feel this new season very deeply. I feel like this change in weather.
Yes.
I really enjoy like the crispness in the air. This like that moment I just had before. We're in the fall now. And I like something about this fall air.
I felt it when I walked out the door to go to you, to pick you guys up.
Man.
just looking around.
I just read a quote. I think Fitzgerald or Hemingway or something. He said like something about life changes every time the fall like begins or something like that. And I was like, our life begins as the fall begins or something like that. I was like, I feel that.
Seasons are good.
Yeah, man. Oh my God. Are they the best? Yeah. Life changes. I don't know. I was watching the flowers over by the farmer's market, and I was like, they were just starting to close up. Like, okay, so they're going to sleep. Like that's the end of them for now, and then they're gonna come back maybe later, maybe not. But it was just it makes you think about the finiteness of things. I don't know, you know, like things don't last forever. Actually, oh, maybe some things do, but I believe that. But in life, like we see a thing like live, right, and grow and change shape, and then like fade and then leave,
evolve into something else.
Yeah. And it reminded me of that. I was having weird thoughts, man, but it was really cool. I don't know how
Seasons change.
I feel crazy. That's the best way. Not crazy. Just
alive.
Yeah, alive. Yeah.
You're like, whoa, feelings and stuff's happening. Oh,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those days.
You're like, excited and
especially
hungry.
with time passing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the, I feel like, the most surreal things.
Yeah.
When you see, especially like when snow starts coming in and stuff, you're like, now I'm going to feel like this is going to be like an eternity. Because you know, like when you're in summer or you're in winter, usually I feel like I'm like, it's never going to be summer again.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah, it's actually.
Like it's never going to come back.
I feel that.
You know? You kind of forget how it is and then you appreciate it again.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that too.
You feel that? Yeah, dude. How are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm good.
You said it was a good day.
I'm good. It was a relaxing, you know. I sat down, I read. I just listened to, I don't know, sitting in here reading, quiet. You hear like the cars passing.
Yeah.
Felt good.
You listen to any music that you want to cue us on?
No, we're not doing that. We got copyright, dude.
Okay, my bad.
We got a sponsor. We're making money, dude.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but I want to get in. An awesome thing that Irina did for us was that requested that we read a book.
Talk more though, bro. Before we get into this.
Really?
We will.
We'll circle back.
Okay. No. I'm sorry.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't want to make you sad, dude.
No, you're not making me sad. You know what I mean? I'm excited to do this too. I just off of the wind of what you were saying about your past and like about saying like I'm not in that film and like running away from when people would approach you and say, "Oh, Irina."
Oh wow, you're really circling back.
Yeah, I'm circling back big time.
I'm like, cool. Back to me. All right.
Yeah. Well, you're here. I want to talk to you.
I am here.
You're here. Episode 36.
Boom.
No, I because I've told you this before. But the first time I've ever known you existed in life was from the butterfly effect. When I was like, we went through this. This conversation was a big conversation for me. It really was. We had this dope conversation. I think it was like the first time we ever sat down and had a conversation. It was at the Drama Bookshop. Yeah. Rest in peace, Drama Bookshop.
Yeah, it was for a memorial for a dear friend of ours.
Yes.
Yeah, William.
Yep.
Right? And Dave told me that he knew me as a kid.
Yeah, because this is the weirdest part. I think, like you were a child actor and like you were doing this huge thing at that age, and I'm sure that you didn't think at the time at 10 years or 13, 14.
The Butterfly Effect. I was 13.
13 years old. I'm sure. I don't know if you were. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I know at 13 I wasn't thinking like anything I do is gonna like help the other person. I was kind of like, I'm a kid and I'm just gonna play and I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I get to be in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Film a movie.
Yeah.
What?
And I was this like kid in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Farthest thing from a movie ever, acting anything. And I watched the movie. I remember, and I was by myself and I watched the movie and it like messed me up. But I remember Irina in the movie and I was like really moved by Irina. And now I'm in front of her at age, like we were like, I was 26 at the time or something when we were having this conversation. And I was like, life is so weird because, you're literally like from another part of the world. In this film I saw as a kid that like I never thought I'd be in front of you saying like, oh my God, you had a huge impact on me. Like when I was a kid in this like small, tiny bedroom watching like this tiny TV, watching you on the screen. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird how we kind of like found each other in a weird way. I don't know. It's and now I can have this meaningful conversation with you, and that was like the start of this like open dialogue we have with each other. It's really cool. But I remember that moment specifically. It's hard to forget. Like I get to express like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You really like had this imprint on my childhood. And like, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know if you probably didn't think about that at 13, you know, when you were doing it.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
And it actually, it's going to sound so cheesy, but it warms my heart because I make art so that I make art, but I make stuff so that I can impact other people, right? So that somewhere out there, someone can connect in some way and like, so that they don't feel alone.
Yeah.
So when you told me that, to realize that like it was actually happening.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah, it makes me feel less alone.
Got you.
Right? Because you have no idea.
Wow, so that's what you did for me when I was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a beautiful relationship you guys have.
That's weird, actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually so cool because like you never know who's out there acting on your behalf.
Right.
You have no idea. Like truly you have no idea.
Yeah.
You don't know that, I don't know, a friend of a friend of a friend is asking someone about a role for you.
Yeah.
Or you don't know if a friend of a friend of a friend is finding out about an apartment because you're looking for one.
Yeah.
Or like a million things, right? Or a job or like a significant other, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. You realize how connected we all really are.
Even if we may never, if I never said that to you, like you would never know that.
I will never know.
And there's so many other people I'm sure you don't know.
So much stuff that you don't know.
Yeah.
I hear sometimes someone submitted me for a job that I didn't get, right? But I later find out they submitted me and I'm like, oh, there are people doing that for me.
For you, yeah.
Someone's like vouching on my behalf.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah, dude. It was a huge moment for me. That's why I wanted to bring it up, you know? It was wild. I don't know. I replay that sometimes. I'm like, that conversation, I felt like, again, that pause button was hitting. I was just like, man, I can't believe, like, shout out Tori and Katie. I'm sorry I ramble on this a lot. I'm just letting the thoughts go. Shout out Katie Warby, Tori Radamantis. We were, sorry, again for the sweater dropping. We were at the New York Public Library. We spent some time studying, going through things. But this conversation came up of like, the past that I come from to be here with you guys now is like, it's nuts. The journey's really crazy. I'm sure it is for all of us. But when I trace my steps back, I'm like, how did I find this acting like passion? Like the path I was on, there was no logically, like there was no way.
Yeah.
There's no way to get
There's no
here.
path.
No way.
Dude, I actively left that path. I was like, I'm no longer acting. And then like there's little nudges all throughout the world and all of a sudden you're like thrown back into it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fine, I do want to do this.
Yeah. I actually do want this.
Damn it, I love this.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what exactly about the film, like, why were you so connected to it?
Dude,
like, what was it?
There's a lot. It's, I think at the time I was just like a young kid who felt very alone. Your character, I definitely empathized with the lead character when he's a kid and what he was going through and what the pressures of his friends and all this stuff. And then your character seemed to be this like light in this dark room. And I was just like, oh, that's the way out. That's the way out. Like your character was like clearly the way out of this thing. And it just really moved me as a kid. I didn't understand, but I was just like, every time he came on screen, I was like, there she is. Like she's back. And then when you're affected by, you know, the choices that he makes and then like going back, it shook me up. It actually shook me up a lot. So,
right, because you're watching someone the same age as you.
Yeah, that movie was a real good lesson in like to be aware of like the choices that you make, even though like it's a crazy sci-fi like you know circumstance. But it made me really aware of like the taking care of people with the choices that you make, and like if you do mess up, like you could like fuck up some lives, you know. It reminded me of that. But your character specifically was like a light in like this lamp in like the distant dark, like in a corner of a room. And you went through a lot.
Yeah. And
I hadn't seen that from anyone my age, like at that time. So I was just like, whoa. I felt less alone, actually. Like you definitely gave me some. I watched that movie like 10 times when I was a kid. And that was the feeling I got. It was like, oh, every time your character comes on screen, like I was like, oh, that's what he wants. That's his way out. That's his life. You know what I mean?
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Funny story. So Magnificent Grey, the film that I produced.
Shout out.
It's a short film. The last film festival that it was at was the Northeast Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the other films in our short film block. And the film playing right after ours is called The Waiting Game. And I'm looking at the actors that are in it. And one of the actors in it is John Patrick, which is the guy who played my like counterpart in The Butterfly Effect.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, whoa.
Isn't that wild?
That's bananas.
Yeah.
Like, that's bananas. And the only reason I found out is because I was looking at the nominated, like people who were nominating for whatever. And it was like, best lead, Irina Gorovaia, like best female actress. And then it was best male actor. And I was like, where do I know that name from?
Oh my gosh.
And then I asked the internet and I'm like, whoa.
Damn.
That's crazy. That's like full circle.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to talk?
No, he didn't come to the festival, but the director
man.
and I did. We like connected and talked a bunch. It was great.
Yeah.
Shout out, John.
Big shout out.
But it's such a funny world because back to our original point of like, we're all in this together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're truly all in this together.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, like on the way over here, Dave and I talked a lot about comparison and about like seeing other people and other people's successes or whatever. But at least for me, as I get older, I realize that someone else's success has nothing to do with mine, and my success has nothing to do with anyone else's, because there's room enough in this world for all of us.
Absolutely.
Like people are like, oh, there's only like room for one at the top, and I'm like, not really.
No.
Not necessarily. And it's kind of fascinating when you start to actually. I love The Matrix. It's one of my favorite movies.
God.
Hell yeah.
And in The Matrix, the Oracle tells Neo, I think, where she's like, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path, right?
Yeah.
So when you're actually walking on your path, not on someone else's or not where you think that you should be, you realize that like it's okay. Like you're safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it. Trust me. Like the things that are in store for you are greater than you could ever imagine. And that's like really cool.
Yeah, dude.
But like I don't have that feeling all the time.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? I like try to hold on to that. But like
yeah.
you don't have good days all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have awful days and you're like fighting with everyone you know, and you're like throwing a temper English.
You got it.
Temper tantrum.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, adding to the like comparisons and stuff, it's so easy to like when you're comparing, you're kind of like separating yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're kind of secluding yourself,
Right.
and the other person.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
So it's like, oh, like we're never gonna be, in the same,
No.
he's over there, I'm over here.
No.
Yeah.
And it's easy to just like secluding yourself, then you're gonna get in your own head.
Yeah. Yes.
And I feel like eventually you're not gonna do as well.
Yeah, bro.
So by thinking like everyone's kind of on the same path together, I feel like it gives a better mindset.
We actually are.
to grow.
Yeah.
And we actually are.
Yeah. That's
funny how like in our mind we're just like, no, like enemy. Like I gotta get over him.
It's fear, right? It's like this person's doing so well.
Yep.
I'm afraid I won't be doing as well. And then it's a comparison, and then it's a boundary.
If they're doing better, you feel like you lost.
That's a dangerous game, dude. That's a dangerous game. That's a really.
How I like combat stuff like that?
Go ahead. Tell me.
Whenever I have those feelings, and it's natural, right? Like, because you see people that look exactly like you or your type or whatever, and they're booking stuff.
Yep.
I try to help them in ways, like I try to help them.
Yeah.
Like if I see a casting that a friend of mine would be perfect for, I always submit them, because if one of us makes it, we're all going to make it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
it's such you have to help each other out.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There can't be of like, oh, I hope they don't get it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
it's,
I agree.
It's so special when someone else makes it, because you see that pure joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could be the smallest thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For someone, it could be like a student film,
Yeah.
and they're the happiest
Yes.
person in
Yes.
the world because they've booked a student film.
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
in this business where we're going to get rejected over and over and over again,
Yep.
literally all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not going to be there to like lift up your fellow friend, what
That's
are we
my
even
favorite
doing here?
part. I think the fact that like we were talking before, we had like thank God for playoffs. Just out of the fact that we have this like, I feel I have like supporters in my corner, people that believe in me actually and like want me to succeed actually, and there's nothing in me that's like questions that, and I'm just like, wow, people see me and they're like, I love you, I believe in you, and I'll do everything I can to help you, and like I feel the same
Yeah.
in my blood. Like that's really fucking cool to have.
It's hard for me to accept that, though.
Yeah, is it?
I always assume everyone's against me.
Gotcha.
It's like very hard for me to trust anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, y'all all want me to fail. It's very hard for me.
That's real.
Yeah, I think it comes from like my mom.
Okay.
And also,
Shout out, Mom.
hey mom, we're from the Soviet Union. Like this is the days of like people eavesdropping and like selling you out,
Yeah,
and like people
yeah.
dying and going to jail.
Yeah,
So there's such a high level of paranoia.
for sure.
You don't let anyone in.
Red curtain.
Yeah, dude. Like the wall. Like it's such a. And I find that now I'm always like, what's their angle? What are they really thinking? And in reality, they're not really thinking anything else.
Yeah.
They're like genuinely here.
Yeah.
I'm like, but why? What do you want from me?
Yeah.
And it's a
Wow.
it's a constant struggle
I understand.
to change that. And I'm like, but Irina, if you genuinely want your friends to succeed, why not entertain the idea that they genuinely want you to succeed?
Yes.
Why not perhaps? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Cause like I don't, and I have no answer.
Yeah.
I have no answer. Cause I do, like
Zero.
it genuinely makes me happy when someone is
Yeah.
like,
Same.
and yet when some sort of success happens,
Isn't
I'm
that
like,
weird?
I can't tell anyone.
Isn't
I
that
can't tell
crazy?
anyone. They're gonna jinx me. They're gonna think bad thoughts.
Evil eye stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, that is not the way that I want to live.
Yeah.
I want to live like as a warrior of light, and that your bad thoughts cannot do anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, thank you for your bad thoughts,
Yeah.
but like I don't want them.
Yeah.
And I'm really like, that's an active thing that I'm trying to do, is like not focus on any negativity coming my way, but just focus on like the truth and like the goodness that's out there.
Yeah. Yes.
But like, oh, so hard.
That makes me think about. Sorry, Mike. That makes me think about. I struggle with like asking for help. Right.
Yep.
You know that. And when I'm going through a thing, I'm like, I know all I have to do is pick up a phone deep down, and like I know there's gonna be somebody like that's there for me. Like I feel that in my bones. But like something inside me is like, yeah, but you're asking for too much, man. And then I stop myself. It could be anything, but I always like, most of the time it takes a lot for me to like reach out and ask for help for something that.
So yours is
I
like
need help
you
with.
feel like
But that's the thing.
you're troubling someone.
I'm troubling someone. So where you're coming from, like they want me to fail. It's I'm putting on them.
But Dave, that's why I'm so self-sufficient. I don't ask for help ever.
Yeah,
I don't need
yeah,
your help.
yeah.
I got it myself.
Yeah.
Why would I burden you
Yeah.
with my help?
Yeah.
And yet I'm always the first one to offer to help people move.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I help people move. I listen to them talk. Like
I love
yet-
that. But why do I think in my mind like if they're willing to ask for help and I'm more than willing to be there to help?
I think it's a self-worth thing, because you feel, not you, I'm going to talk about myself, like I feel like I don't deserve it. But someone recently said something to me that started changing my way of thinking. And they were like, Irina, don't you see? They were like, what is the greatest law of the universe? And I was like, I don't know, love. And they were like, no, it's the law of receiving. And I was like, tell me more.
Oh, I want to hear this.
He's like, for a tree to grow, it has to receive nutrients from the soil. It has to receive sunlight. For a light bulb it has to receive electricity, right?
Yeah.
For us, like right now, to be caffeinated, you're receiving the caffeine. Like we need to intake in order to live. Like a tree is not like, I've had too much sun.
Yeah.
Right? Like you water your plants. The plant's like, no, I don't need the water.
Yeah.
Why do we as humans think that we don't need this? Why are we the ones that are deciding if there's people all around us that are like, hey, I want to help you? What?
This made me kind of like, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit.
Oh, dude.
But so I learned like in school and stuff, with the earth and also with like technology and everything, there's like feedback loops, you know? So you give something, it comes back. And the things that only receive are like, they store, right?
Right.
Hoarders.
And if it stores too much, then
They implode?
You know, yeah. It implodes on itself or explodes. Whoa. So if you're not giving that, that thing back, then you're hurting yourself.
Right.
You know, I think it's the same for humans. Same for plants. If you keep watering a plant, it's going to die.
Yeah. Yes. You know? Yes.
It's interesting.
Damn.
Well, because trees also give us oxygen,
I
right?
was just going to say. So that's
like it's a constant thing. I think, and that's what I was trying to, articulate in on the way over here. I don't think you can fully give without also receiving.
Yes.
Yep.
Because then you're just depleted.
Absolutely.
It's anyway, Mike, earlier you wanted to talk about, so full disclosure, everyone that is listening, before I came on, I was like,
you're going to do
Dave,
this podcast from now on, dude. You're so good at this.
I was like, Dave, because David had asked me to do this before, and I'm nervous to talk about myself.
You're really good at this, though.
Why?
You
Thank
are.
you,
You
Dave.
really
Look
are.
at me receiving this compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah.
much. I was like, cool, but I'd like to talk about a book. I recently read a book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I don't want to butcher his name.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dave, I really think that you should read this. I had like in my heart, I was like, Dave needs to read this book. And then because I'm all about fairness, I was like, well, Mike's got to read it too. And then we're going to talk about it on the podcast. So maybe all of you. Yeah. And you guys did it.
Yep.
You did it. It like makes me truly, I'm like, what?
This is the most I've read in like probably my whole life.
Yeah. Wow.
I appreciate that.
Even like school, I didn't finish books, dude.
Respect.
Really
Yes,
bad.
teacher Irina.
Yeah. Thank you.
What was the drive? What was the motivation?
I don't know, man.
Preparation? Like I need to
I think someone gave me it, you know?
Oh, so, yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Wow. I give you books all the time. And,
but I read most of those.
Yeah, no, I know.
I read most of those.
I'm like, dude.
No, but I really appreciate you guys reading it because, we all have opinions about everything, right? And we try to shove them down everyone else's throat because you're like, I loved it. You must love it too.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you taking my suggestion.
Hell yeah.
Funny thing about that though is like I was reading it at work a lot, and I leave it like I'm a barista, so like I leave it out on the side. People see it. Literally, like 20 people were like, "That book is amazing! Oh my god!"
I got
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm really? Yeah, I'm reading it."
Yeah.
Like literally, so many people.
Yeah. Who's got such good taste in this? I left the book too at work. And someone
Everyone
came up,
keeps saying
who's reading this? Who's got such good taste in their reading? I'm like,
Because
me,
it's
actually. Hey.
it's so accessible and it's
Yeah, thanks,
so
dude.
digestible. Like I read a lot of it's embarrassing to say self-help books because I like the idea of constantly growing and changing and evolving and like being the better version of myself.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to be stagnant, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm like, oh, I don't like this about myself. Cool. Like, how could I change it? How could I be better, stronger, fairer, like kinder to the people around me, whatever. And I read a bunch of them, and a lot of them are kind of hard to digest. But he makes it so simple, and he calls it a wisdom book. I'm like, thank you. Not a self-help book, a wisdom
I
book.
like that word better.
But it is. It makes it so simple,
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
which I really appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. I thank you for thinking of me and telling me to read this book or asking me to read this book or just putting it on my map.
You must read this book, David Foligno.
And a book report. But for real, it's so, I mean, these agreements, like you said, he not only like says in very simple words, this is the agreement. Like the first one is be impeccable with your word. And he goes on to describe what the word actually is. And so you get a definition of what the word is, and then you get examples of like how you can misuse the word or have misused the word and what happens because of that, and then how you can adjust and like start a new agreement with the word being impeccable. Just saying it out loud to yourself, I am impeccable with my word like every day may change some things. That's your new agreement, right?
Yeah.
I just love the way
he like goes through each like feeling and emotion of like the process of actually saying
He
that
does.
and what it does.
He does, man. I really love the way he said, he in terms of like living your life through these agreements, like that you don't even know you've agreed to. I haven't signed up for these things knowing that I have. But now reading this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm for sure not impeccable with my word. I'm definitely, and then the other one is don't make assumptions. And I'm make assumptions all the time.
All the time.
And it's such a simple thing.
And it hurts me. It hurts my heart so often. And I struggle for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. Hell yeah. He had this quote I wanted to pull up if I could find it.
Oh, guys, it makes me so happy.
Dude,
that
it rocked
have your
me.
books and you.
It really rocked
I have to shout out Jason Milner, who let
Shout
me
out.
borrow his copy.
Boom.
His mother gave him that book.
Wow.
Really?
And what did the note say? I think the note says something along the lines of like, Jason, I find life is easier with these agreements.
Shout out Mama
That's
Milner
beautiful.
too.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
She's a very nice lady.
Love you, dude.
Yeah, and he let me borrow it, and I was like, wow, I'm going to spread this
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was the quote?
So this is the quote. I just want to talk about Jason now. Jason, I love you, dude. And
Jason, I love you too.
yeah. And thank you for doing repetition with me this morning, even though we were scared and we did it anyway. I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
And thank you for giving me my challenge, and I accept. So the quote from Don Miguel Ruiz was, this rocked me when I read it, and I was shaking my head like crazy because it's so spot on. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering with him or her. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. You will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself to make the right choices. Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
You don't need it. It's a gift if they walk away from you, if they're causing that kind of
Yeah.
pain. Like I was really moved. by
There's a Russian saying that Papa always says, which is, sorry, I like love my parents, so I'm going to
Shout
talk
out,
to them.
shout out.
Shout out Mama and Papa.
Yes.
It's the best.
But Papa always says, it's going to be in Russian the first time he said, «Всё, что не случается, это к лучшему», which means everything that doesn't happen, it's for the best. And because we don't know the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So like, we missed the train and it's the end of the world for us.
Yeah.
But listen, maybe if you had gotten that train as you were walking out, someone would have like crashed into you and like spilled their coffee on you. Do you know? Like you don't know why you missed that train.
Yeah.
So I feel like for everything that happens and for everything that doesn't happen, you just have to be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your father and mother seem like mythical to me. Like
They're the best.
the way you quote them all. What is one quality from both of your parents that's something that like moves you about, or you're a fan of in your parents, or something that like you take away from just being around them for so long? Like what's one quality that like resonates with you?
So something that I like about them, or something.
What if it just resonates? What if it's, I mean, I guess that is a like, right? That's a,
Yeah.
I remember you were saying they're like, your parents were like mythical.
yeah. To me, like hearing about when,
I like that.
when you drop like
Yeah.
a phrase.
Little
that they
wisdom
say,
piece.
It
Yeah.
always strikes me.
They're so cool. And it's, it's tough because we also have our differences.
Yeah.
Right. And like sometimes it's really hard when you look up to them so much
Yeah.
because then they have such an ability to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's tough for me.
Uh-huh.
But something that I take from my father is that he is, to bring it back to the 4 agreements, is that he's impeccable with his word.
Wow.
And it's something I've learned from him, he doesn't speak a lot. So he won't promise you anything that he won't do, right? Like sometimes I'll ask him for something and he'll say maybe. Or like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Because if he says he's going to do something, like he will. And I really appreciate that because I learned that you could depend on people because of him.
Yeah.
Because if he said that he's going to be somewhere, like he will be there. If he says he will help, he will be there. And I like that. A lot of time when I get nervous, I just kind of like talk for the sake of talking. And I try to channel my dad because he won't. Like he'll be around people and he'll just be quiet and he'll just watch.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that about him because it's really tough to be impeccable with your word.
For sure.
Because sometimes we really want to please others. And sometimes we really want to please ourselves, right? Like being impeccable with your word is not just to others. If I'm like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go to the gym. And like I don't.
Yeah.
That's also not being impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is disappointing others worse than disappointing yourself? It's the
Is it? Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like
For
you're
sure.
still, if we're just going by these 4 agreements, then you're not being impeccable with your word. My mom always, because I'm always like, Mom, I'm uncomfortable. And in Russian, and then I'll change it. Ира, одна вещь в этой жизни, because I'm like, мама, мне неудобно, and she's like, Ира, неудобно спать на потолке, потому что одеяло падает. Все остальное удобно. Which means, I'm always like, Mom, I'm uncomfortable. She's like, Ira, how you say my name in Russian. She's like, the only thing that's uncomfortable in this life is sleeping on the ceiling. And that's only because your blanket is going to keep falling. Everything else is comfortable. And I'm like, what?
Oh my.
But like,
Wait a second.
this is the truth. Like, to be, what is this uncomfortable? It's such a, everything is comfortable. We've all made it up in our head. Like, it's uncomfortable to sleep on the ceiling because your blanket, like that's such a high concept thing, but this is how she views her whole life. She's like, no, go for it.
Whoa.
Like, just do it. Who cares?
Wow.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
That's
I
amazing.
remind myself all the time because I'm always like, is
Yeah.
this okay? Or is that okay? Like, did I?
Yeah.
And I always hear my mom being like, or she goes, can I curse on this?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
She has a very heavy Russian accent. She's always like, Ira, fuck everybody.
That's what I live
Yes.
Shout out mom, dude.
Shout
That's
out, Mom.
amazing. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a image.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an image.
Wow.
Because like what? Like you have to, the only thing that's uncomfortable is sleeping on the ceiling. And you're like, right, because you can't. No, it's because your blanket is going to fall.
Yeah. Wow.
What did you think of the book? You said that you wanted to talk
I had
about
a
something.
couple things.
Yeah, I'm so curious.
You're crushing this thing.
One of the we were talking about earlier about the world like revolving around ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you have that feeling.
Yeah.
I just wrote this after, I think this was on maybe the 48 was on the second agreement. Don't take anything personal. Right?
Yes.
Which
Working on that one.
It's tough,
How do you
right?
do that?
But this is basically around about that. I wrote, the truth of the matter is we make ourselves believe the world revolves around us, what we do and how we feel, but it really doesn't. There are so many things we have no control over. And when I think about it, it makes me feel powerless.
Hey.
Can one be confident in themselves and believe this? When I think about it more and more, it feels as though we create these realities where everything revolves around us, and that reality is among the many other realities created by each and every human on Earth. We all, like grains of sand in a jar, untouched, our place beside each other seems concrete, but when an uncontrollable force approaches, we move fluidly to our next place.
Wow, Mike.
I don't know,
Excuse me, pause. Are you a writer?
No.
IRL?
No,
Why not?
I don't know.
That's fucking beautiful.
Cool. Can you
Cool.
great. Can you
Word.
send that to me?
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
give you my
sure.
information? That's so beautifully written.
Thank you.
Look at you.
That's
man.
something that
What I do.
Dude,
Oh, wow.
that's beautiful.
gosh. Really?
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Because that's so true.
From my heart.
Yeah.
I love you, dude.
I love you too, bro. Wow.
That's good.
That moved me, man. Send that to
Really?
me too. Yeah.
For sure.
He's like, yeah, I want it too.
Mikey. For real, dude. No, I'm proud. Like,
I mean,
I'm just happy.
listen,
for
A
you.
plus on your book report, truly.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there we go.
I did
I wish
my
I did this in
report.
school, dude.
Yeah.
Would have been killing it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it's so
I'll send that to me, bro.
You're like, shocked. What'd I do?
I just love it.
Let me go to another thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think someone asked a question, or just to talk about love.
Oh, who? Wait.
Camila.
Camila.
right?
Yes.
Camila,
Shout out Camila. Shout out Camila.
And this is a part of the book that really hit me like a bag of bricks. It's the whole page. I'm just going to read it because I feel like it's important.
Good.
Hit it.
So often when you go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny that there are things you don't like about that person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But that is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you can change them. Then something happens between the two of you and you get hurt. Suddenly you see what you didn't want to see before. Only now it is amplified by your emotional poison. Now you have to justify yourself, justify your emotional pain and blame them for your choices. We don't need to justify love. It is there or not there. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means we don't really like them.
Hey.
Of course, if you decide to live with someone, if you make that agreement, it is always better to make that agreement with someone who is exactly the way you want him or her to be. Find someone whom you don't want to change at all.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, Mikey.
Dude.
So yeah,
I'm gonna fucking.
Dude.
I feel crazy right now.
me too.
Dude.
Mikey.
That's
sensational.
this is why
made me want
you should all read this book.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Because this is one of the greatest things. I love that. I love that. In a good quote unquote relationship, right? I don't mean sexual relationship. This could be with your sibling. This could be with your friend.
Yeah.
You see the person for who they are.
Yes.
You actually see them.
Yep.
You see all their flaws.
Everything.
You know what I mean? And they still love you. And this is what breaks my heart in like the best possible way ever. Because my friends and family that love me for real, they know I'm emotionally unstable. They know I need attention. They know I like things my way. But they don't try to change that. They're like, no, I see you and it's okay. And it's when you start to live like that towards others, you start to see that they're actually beautiful as a whole. Like you don't have to change them in a way that you think is the best.
Yeah.
You see that they're beautiful the way they are.
Yeah.
And truly, if their quote unquote like cons are hurting you, they will see that also and they will stop doing that.
Right.
Do you
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the more that you work on yourself, right? Like let's say you're super selfish.
Oh, this is huge. Yeah.
The more that you work on yourself and you're like, in what ways could I be not selfish? In what ways can I give back? The people around you that may or may not be just as selfish as you are, they will see that changing you and they will go, oh, she's breathing easier. Why is that? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Perhaps I could do that too.
Yeah.
And it's like huge.
Yeah. But it's not you imposing your.
No.
It's
No.
another person picking up off of what you're changing about yourself,
yeah.
off of your behavior, or,
Yeah.
or some kind of thing they see on you, and
Exactly.
they say, "Oh, I'm aware of this now."
It's in no way connected to you.
Absolutely
I see
not.
you and your red flags.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love you
Yeah.
and your red flags.
Yeah. I'm not trying to change it.
I love you for all of the negativity, and I love you for all of the positivity, and I see you. You don't have to hide from me. Because I think a lot of times as we enter in a relationship, not only do we choose to ignore the red flags from them, but we also hide our own. And then the longer that you are with them, both of them come out.
Yeah.
And then you're both like, what?
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah, it is. That is scary.
I don't know. Why did it touch you so much?
Oh boy.
Why, bro? We don't have to talk about
This is why it affected me, but
Just a relationship I had. Like, it just exactly described every feeling I had. Like, after the fact. And I realized things that I did wrong and that I felt like was right, but it was actually wrong. And I don't know, just like I've never heard, like everyone I've talked to or like has given me advice, like I've never heard like that way it was said, being so like simply put and so correct.
yeah.
And I was like, all right, there it is.
Yeah.
This is why this book it makes such like high concept things so simple.
Yeah.
Which is why I
And
think
you can understand it.
connected exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's I'm like, oh right.
I was like, insert.
I hate that thing, dude. The thing that like kicks up. I hate that like part of me. I wish I could just like respectfully be like breathing.
I see it.
Like and
It's
just
like a
hey,
whole
everyone
like,
okay? You guys okay? Let's think about
it's
this
a switch.
logically.
There's a switch. dude.
Total switch.
Something there.
Total.
But Dave, what if you instead of
Therapist.
Marina and I joke about this. We're like, shout out Marina.
Shout out reading.
We always joke about this. We're like, as a licensed therapist, let me tell you what you should think. Do you or what you should do? What if you actually accept that part of you and realize that it's there for a reason, and maybe in 10, 15 years you're going to save someone's life and you have no idea.
Got you.
And that's what you need.
I'll try to accept it.
Right? Like
Yeah, it's
that
a new way of thinking.
turns up and you're like, cool, thank you. I'm ready now.
Got you.
I don't know, right? Like who knows?
Yeah. I really it's associated in my mind with like I wish I was this instead.
Yeah, but you are. So you might as well like love you for it.
Right. I agree.
Like
Thank you for saying that.
I appreciate you making me feel safe. I appreciate you being in between him and me so that you can take care of both of us. Cool.
Even you saying that is the voice becomes wish again, like you idiot, like things like that. But I'm hearing you loud and clear, and like thank you for saying that. And I want to start doing that. I want to incorporate that.
But it's the truth.
It's just what I am. It's who I
some
am.
people, like with the fight or flight thing, right? Some of us fight and some of us flight.
Yeah.
I'm a runner, baby.
Yeah.
I run so fast.
Yeah.
Shit goes down, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I've never been here. Do you know what I mean?
It's very logical. It's very persevere. You know,
Self-preserve. But other people fight.
Right.
And you have to realize that sometimes actually you should leave and sometimes actually
sure.
you
Yeah.
should stay.
Right.
And it's accepting that part of you, whatever part you are, as okay. And then you're able to look at the other options.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly like, oh, why am I like this? Oh, why am I like this? Like, you are.
Yeah.
Dave, you're tall. That's just who you are. You're never going to be short.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
your nature is to protect. Something goes on, you're like, I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
You're ready. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is. I guess so. I want to believe that. I do.
But you might as well.
I need to.
That's not like, because how long have you been like this?
Since I was a kid.
Cool.
Yeah.
How old are you now? 29?
29.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's been 29 years.
Nothing's changed.
Maybe there's a chance that it's not.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Maybe
I don't know, Dave.
maybe this is who you are and this is
Yeah,
okay.
Forever, for the rest of it.
And that's like, cool. How could I use this to my advantage?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
Yes, man. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you.
Cool.
Honestly, thank you.
You're welcome.
As a licensed therapist, I appreciate it.
as a licensed therapist, I can say this.
Yes, I like that. That'd be perfect to just like, now you got to believe that.
I want to. I
Make that
desperately want to
agreement.
just accept that.
Yeah, make that fifth agreement.
No, but try it, right? Like he talks
sure.
about getting rid of, I notice certain things that I'm like, oh, that's an agreement. And I have to consciously check. I'm like, can I get rid of this? And I'm like, not yet. I don't think so.
Not ready for it.
But I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
I can't walk under a ladder.
Oh my God,
can't.
me neither.
I can't do it. I know it's an agreement. I've made this up.
Superstition.
but super completely.
Yeah.
But I'm always like walking towards them. I'm like, today's going to be the day. And I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
but I have a thing later and then it's going to get ruined. Not today.
Yeah.
And I walk around the ladder and I'm like, I know it's something I made up in my head and maybe one day,
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah.
but perhaps one day.
Yeah. What's the superstition? Marina, shout out again. You're walking with somebody and you reach a pole and like you guys split up and then come back together.
I don't believe that one.
You don't
Marina
believe that?
does.
Okay.
Because you get like split up, so you have to say hi afterwards.
Is it a Russian thing or is it a?
I think it's a Marina thing.
It's a Marina thing. Got you. Okay.
I've never, she does it to me all the time. I'm like,
She does to me too.
Well, because in my
Step
head,
on
I'm
my
like,
shoe. I step on your shoe.
yeah, that I like because, so it's a Russian thing. If someone steps on your foot, you have to step on their foot.
Gotcha.
Kind of like then you won't get into a fight. So it's like an eye for an eye.
Respect. Yep.
But the splitting the pole thing, I'm like, psh, you think a pole is going to break us apart?
Yeah.
I'm with you, baby.
Yeah.
That pole's got nothing. But I get it. I can't walk under a ladder. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, we all have our things.
Yeah.
You don't want to get split up, I'm with you. So
Word. I like that. I actually like that one.
the which one?
The split the pole and then say
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah.
And the foot. I enjoy that one.
You just split the pole and they say bye. That would suck.
Devastating. That's devastating.
See ya.
You die if you do that. Don't do it.
Bye.
It's 25 years bad luck.
That's so funny. You have a page marked. What
Yeah.
is that?
I wanted to get into the fourth agreement.
Yes. Which
Let's
one
get
is that?
into it, Mikey.
This is kind of like I'm going to say one problem I have with the book. Mm-hmm. Some of the, but like after you read it, you get why it's like this. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what we've been saying, that everything's kind of explained very thoroughly and very like easy to understand, but it's profound as well. The fourth agreement is always do your best. Which is like, all right, you hear that, you're like, all right, mom, I get it.
Yeah.
Just do your best, son.
But there's this one part where he talks about a master at a Buddhist temple.
Oh, yes.
And the saying that he gave to his like disciple. So here it is. There was a man who wanted to transcend his suffering, so he went to a Buddhist temple to find a master to help him. He went to the master and asked, "Master, if I meditate 4 hours a day, how long will it take for me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you want to meditate 4 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years. Thinking he could do better, the man then said, "Oh, master, what if I meditated 8 hours a day? How long will it take for me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate 8 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 20 years. But why will it take me longer if I meditate more?" the man asked. The master replied, "You are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, but you spend 8 hours instead, you will only grow tired, miss the point, and you won't enjoy your life. Do your best, and perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy." Which spoke to me. Because a lot of the time...
Is this the problem you have with the book?
No. This is something I really liked.
Okay, cool.
That I definitely vibed with. If I didn't like that, that'd be terrible.
Yeah. Mike, what are you talking about?
I feel like a lot of the time everyone's trying to find a shortcut. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like sometimes you don't do anything, try to find a way out of it.
Yeah,
And especially with the job I have right now, there's a lot of things that I don't enjoy. And I've kind of come to terms with like sacrificing some things in order to, in the future, hopefully, have a plan. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing this because partly I want to, but there's some things I don't like about it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like, I'm going to put it off to another day. And then I just get more work and then it ends up not being done, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to keep myself in check, for those kinds of things now. And I don't know, do you guys have any like advice? Like how to like look at this? You know what I mean? Because I look at this.
You're being very vague.
Really?
Yeah. Look at what? Like the passage or your job?
I kind of like related it to the passage.
Oh, okay. Cool. So
Of like, I don't know. Because like I vibe with that, like what he's saying, right? Like the teaching and everything.
Yeah.
But still inside me, I get this feeling of, I'm looking for a shortcut.
Like innately, you want to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I don't know what kind of advice there'd be. I mean, the simple one is like the ride is that there's no end point that you're going to reach that's going to. I mean, I think there's no end point you're going to reach that's going to be like, I did it, I'm fulfilled, done. Like that's all I wanted, and I'm done. There's always going to be like, you're going to be looking ahead, and that becomes like a chase, and then you're missing the moment as it's happening in front of you. But the whole part of like life living that is supposed to be fulfilling is the journey, not the destination. Yeah. You know, you're always, I think for me, I'll speak for myself, I'm only fulfilled when I'm like swept up in the journey of life, instead of thinking ahead to what I hope will happen, or I hope things break this way, and I'll keep working so that happens. And like, I get swept up in that too, and it becomes draining, and I forget what's around me, I forget who's around me, and then you miss the only thing that life actually is, which is a moment happening in front of you that lives and dies and then creates a new moment. Those are the only things that are tangibly real, are the things in this room right now that we can experience together, because we're living it. But we can think ahead. We have these brains that can think ahead. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't cause a lot of fulfillment. Go ahead. Jump in.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I was getting at that.
Well, I have a question for you. You run, right? I think I listened to one of the podcasts where you talk about you run, right?
Well, not anymore.
Okay, but you know, you know about running, right?
Yeah.
So you know what a marathon is, right?
Yeah.
Let's say that there's a marathon in 2 months, and you signed up for it. You like got in, you paid whatever it is to do to run it, and your shortcut would be to like miss out on all the training.
Yeah.
If you show up to that marathon, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You have to do the work. You have to train every day. And like, it's not fun, right?
Yeah.
But you got to do it. Otherwise, when you get to that marathon, you're not going to be able to handle it. Like, that's what I see it as, right? Like, someone once told me that, like, if I got all of my wildest dreams right now, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I haven't learned all the lessons that I have to learn yet. Like, I can't run that marathon right now.
Yep.
I'm not trained.
Yep.
Like, I have to do the dirty work. I have to do the like, stuff.
Yeah.
And if I don't do my best, like if I slack off on training, when marathon time comes, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like
Absolutely.
if I could, of course, do all the shortcuts, right? Like do, I don't know, 20 push-ups instead of 100 push-ups, or like run 1 mile every day instead of adding on a mile every day as I run, and like taking Sundays or Saturdays as a rest break, right? Like if you don't, right? Like, and it's tough, because the other side of the coin is that if you give 100% of yourself to everything that you're doing, you're not gonna, how do I properly explain this? I like the fact of like, you have to always do your best, but sometimes you don't have to go above and beyond. Sometimes you have to see what is being called from you right now.
Right.
Like, I have to relate everything to movies, right? But if I get hired as an actor, I have to do my best as an actor. It doesn't mean that I also have to talk to the director and then talk to the cinematographer about like the things, and like hit up the producer and be like, where are you going to get food from? Like, I hear that restaurant is good.
Yeah.
Like, that's not necessary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. And if you want to do that, sure. But sometimes you're just called to be an actor.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
All right. Yeah. Word.
Gotcha.
So like, I'm like, yes, do your best, but don't. That doesn't mean overexert yourself. That doesn't mean train to the point where you can't walk. So that when it is marathon time, you can't walk because you've like messed up your knees.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up.
This is what I take from that passage.
Yeah. I agree with it.
For sure. Do you guys have anything else from the book that you loved?
Oh man, there's a lot in there. There's this one section. I'll just read this, and then this was one of the. I couldn't believe what I was reading as I was reading it sections. I've already told Irina. Who's this sound like, Mike?
Uh-oh.
You may believe you are stupid, and you have believed this for as long as you can remember. This agreement can be very tricky, causing you to do a lot of things just to ensure that you are stupid. You may do something and think to yourself, I wish I were smart, but I must be stupid or I wouldn't have done that. The mind goes 100 different directions, and we could spend days getting hooked by just that one belief in our own stupidity. Then one day someone hooks your attention and using the word lets you know that you are not stupid. You believe what the person says and make a new agreement. As a result, you no longer feel or act stupid. A whole spell is broken just by the power of the word. Conversely, if you believe you are stupid and someone hooks your attention and says, yes, you are really the most stupid person I've ever met, the agreement will be reinforced and become even stronger. I think I lived a solid 23 years, 24, being reinforced, agreeing to agreements I had no idea I was agreeing to, and reinforcing that agreement specifically. And actively now at this age, I'm trying to like agree to something different. And it's difficult because it's been reinforced for a long time. But that one spoke to me, obviously.
Yeah.
That's something I struggle with. This book I think is so powerful because it wakes us up to the fact that we've agreed to things we don't know we've agreed to until you realize what you've agreed to, however. And there's no getting out of it. You agreed to it. Now he gives you a way of actually getting out of it. Like if you're not aware of it, it's just going to keep going. It just keeps happening and being reinforced. And maybe you stumble out of it by accident, but I don't think I ever would have if I wasn't made aware of some of these things. And now I'm thinking in terms of agreements. I'm thinking in terms of, that's one. That's one. Yeah. That's one I've agreed to.
And it's what's that thing? It's like something biased where if you believe something, that everything that happens all around you, you will then reinforce it.
Yeah. Yes.
Like in such a bizarre way that you're like, what? Like if you look at it from a side, you're like, that's not true.
Yeah.
But if I've agreed that I'm stupid, right? Then I am scared to ask a question when I don't know something.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, then they're going to know.
They're going to know I'm stupid. Yeah, yes.
Which is like, what? No, you're just asking a question.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And I want to.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, isn't that wonderful that you have something to teach me?
Yeah.
You're going to share something that
instead of me pretending like I know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is another thing that I like stand by is that people respect curiosity so much.
Yeah.
Like, if you're talking about something and I don't know and I ask, you're like, oh, cool, she's interested.
Yeah.
Let me share.
Absolutely.
You're not like, she doesn't know.
No.
Nobody ever says that.
Nope.
They don't. And if they do, like, good for you. You're probably like hurting in your own way. Yeah. Like, that's okay. People respect curiosity and they also love to share about what they know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have a question. How do you think I should deal with this thing? Hey, I've actually dealt with something similar.
Yeah.
I can share.
Yeah. Then we're in service of each other. Yeah.
It's really cool.
It is awesome. Yeah.
That's what it's about. Huh?
Wow. This is some gems happening right now in this podcast.
Yeah.
This is really nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
And now I feel like we've been through something with this
Yeah.
whole fight thing. I'm like, yo, we've overcome shit.
Dude, we've gotten through the wars together.
Yeah, deep in Jersey.
Yeah, dude, Jersey. So we had a live that we rolled before the podcast, and we had some really great people ask us to speak about a few things. So shout out Daniel Blanda.
Oh, you're always going to be Danny to me.
Yeah.
Danny Blanda.
Incredible writer. He was on the podcast. Go listen. What do you look for in a script, in a piece of writing that basically makes you want to take on that role? What is something that you look for?
Well, actually, when he asked that question, I jokingly said, I better be funny.
Yeah.
But that's true. Like, I want there to be some light in the character. Doesn't mean that they have to be, positive all the time, but I like when they don't take themselves too seriously.
Got you.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But even if they do take themselves too seriously, me as the person reading it is still going to laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of any writing is if it makes me laugh.
Gotcha.
If it brings me joy in some way.
Right.
What about you?
Ooh. I think I'm always called to, and I always look for, and it's evident in everything I do. It's a character on the verge of losing a thing that is at the time the most meaningful thing to them. So it creates this sense of like active pursuit and active. You're this close to like losing something that is your life, something that is your spine, your purpose. Uh-oh.
Go on.
Oh no.
I just realized something really funny that may or may not be true.
Oh,
go on.
whoa. What was that? No, that's what I look for. That's what I look for. If there's some kind of, it doesn't have to be, I guess urgency is a word for it, but I'm not super dramatic. I'm not trying, it doesn't have to be the craziest circumstance, but it's just something where it means a ton to the character. Something is hanging in the balance, and like there is a active, like I need to grab this in this moment because this is the last one I got. And that's the quality I think that always speaks to me when I read it. And in a script, it's either that person gets it or they don't. And then on the other side of that, it is what it is. Yeah.
That's so funny. You describing this to me, I imagine someone that was like something, they're about to either lose something or they're about to gain, like
Yes.
this high stakes thing. And that's exactly something that you just talked about not liking about yourself.
Whoa.
And yet
What?
you look for characters that are actively going through that. You just said that you hate that in situations such as we just went through, you get so ready. Like, this is it. This is my moment to like protect. This is my moment to save. High stakes. You're about to lose something. What are you about to lose? I don't know, like protecting someone, your friend, this person, your colleague that you brought onto this podcast, something. And then you look for roles where...
Sense of security.
A sense of security, right. Like you in real life, Dave, don't like that quality when it gets brought up. And in script...
I think in the script, that's your way to face them.
Maybe.
Exactly. And yet you look for roles where that part of you is called up.
That's so weird.
Isn't it?
That's really weird.
It is, yeah.
You're a therapist.
I am. I'm licensed.
You're a licensed therapist, dude.
Truly. But, right?
odd.
Like, I'm not bananas.
Yeah.
That is like a very
I completely
clear...
agree, yeah. That's like connected.
Yeah, it must be.
I'm like, bro, you got to accept that part of you because clearly you keep doing work where you have to call upon that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that you hide from in real life, and yet
Yeah,
you
and
so
then
desperately
exploring the
want
art
to
for sure. That's so
connect
weird.
to.
Yeah. Whoa. That's weird. That's a weird thing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like the word weird, but that's like a cave I have to like explore. That's an interesting
thing.
Yeah. That's something I run away from, I'm sure. It's something I actively run away from and then chase in art. That's weird. I never put two and two together actually with that. And part of me like is like, no, that's not the same thing.
I think that's a way of you like trying to understand it too, no?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, it's still like the stakes are there. But you're going through like the actual like analyzing script and stuff. Like you're going through. I would not have
made that connection if you didn't just use the same exact language. Talking about a situation.
Is that what I said about that?
I mean, we can re-listen to it. Literally, it was the same.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, not word for word.
No.
But
the same feeling for sure.
The same feeling, exactly.
Got you.
You were like, I hate what I get. Like, it's so intense. Something like I must. And then you're like, well, I look for roles where I must. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Weird. This is weird. That's weird. That's a weird thing. I don't know how to address. I feel like super self-conscious now. It's just odd. I didn't think about that. Because it's hidden under a guise of circumstance like that. And the story's always different.
Yep.
But the this must now, why now, and like something is out of my control, hanging in the balance. Like I must regain control of this. Like
literally what happened half an hour ago.
yeah, it is actually what happened.
Like what's of course the underlying thing is always going to be different, but like that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out.
Again, Dave, you're welcome.
I'm just charged by the hour. What do I owe? What do I owe?
We should have like a therapy session
bankrupt
on the podcast.
Damn.
No, just fascinating stuff.
I love it, yeah.
Mike, is there something that jumps out at you in like stories you write or something that
For me,
stories that you read that like.
Yeah, for me saying that, I really gravitate towards stories where I guess it's similar to kind of you with like high stakes, but what I first like thought of was a character or someone that is in a low place and sees themselves in someone else that's in a low place and kind of saves them through it, even though they're at the same kind of place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they grow up growing together.
Yeah.
And get better together.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That I could definitely see that. I mean, the thing you're writing now is
Yeah.
that.
You are a writer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is.
I'm trying.
You
He
lied.
is. He is a writer.
I try.
You do. You don't try.
A little bit.
You do.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what? You can call yourself
Absolutely.
anything you want. What
That's
is
true, yeah.
you write that you just wrote something. You're a writer. Congratulations.
writer.
That'll be $50 an hour.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. Moving on.
Yes.
Ariel and Leilani would like us to talk about. Shout out Ariel. Shout out Leilani.
Hey, Lay.
Shout out.
Would like us to talk about pressure. How you deal with pressure. How do you deal with pressure? How do you deal with pressure?
I just pretend it's not there.
It's a pretend game.
Nice. How's that working out?
Did that work for you?
Yeah, I guess.
Really?
Oh, lucky you.
I don't know. It worked for me in sports to an extent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I played sports. I played soccer for like almost my whole life.
Did you throw up before games or anything like that?
Well,
No.
What position were you in?
I was goalkeeper. So it was like,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, why are you,
That's the
like
most
me, it was
high
like
pressure
dead face.
position.
They're like, why are you not feeling
Yeah.
emotion, anything?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, yep.
That's so
The
impressive.
keepers are usually are
you gotta
crazy.
be like
Yeah.
on top of your stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's weird. But when I'm like standing in front of a class doing a presentation, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah. That's
Well, now I can, but before, like I was like, same time, I was like, I can't do that.
how do you deal with the pressure of it if you have to do it?
I think for me, it was like just head on, just jumping into it.
Like
for
I
me,
have no choice anyway. I'm
yeah,
just
like
gonna do this.
for example, for public speaking, I'm just not. I start shaking. I'm just
Yeah.
voicing it.
Yeah.
I just took a speech class. I was like, I gotta do it. Took like
That's
30-minute presentations. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I don't
30
care.
minute?
Yeah, that was the last one I had to do.
Dude, that's really cool that you pointed out something about yourself that you're like, oh, this is something I need to work on. And then you worked on it and now
Yeah.
you're better.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
thank you.
No, but for real, not a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people do it. They're like,
Run
and
away.
so blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they do nothing about it.
Yep.
You know?
For sure.
Sorry.
Getting lunch or what?
Chapstick.
What do you
Just
do?
get some chips.
Oh, it's a good idea. Let's take a
Yeah, I'm
chapstick
feeling-
break. Yes.
How do you
chapstick,
deal with
Me too.
How do you
Hold
deal
on.
with pressure?
Oh, yeah. How about you?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
I'm busy putting on chapstick. Hold on.
Oh man. Episode 36 of your podcast.
Tough, man.
Episode 36.
Yeah.
I really like pressure. I work best under pressure,
Same.
and I'm truly always very grateful for it. However, if I don't treat myself well when I'm under pressure, I will implode, and it will come out negatively on the people around me. I'm like very well aware.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that I have to do now that I just have to do. And for a while I was like, oh, it sucks that I have to do these things. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. These are the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So especially when I'm in a show on a run, like a run of a show. By the way, I'm in a show.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Shout it out. Let's plug
Babushka,
it.
Babushka. It's going to be this weekend. It was last weekend and also this weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the 14th
I'll be there
Street
Saturday.
Y.
I'll be there Saturday.
Yes, closing night. Dave Bellino.
I'll be there.
I want to go.
Please come.
I'll come.
It's
You didn't invite me, Dad?
No, I didn't invite you.
it's
She invited you.
It's a story about love in the Soviet Union and anti-Semitism, and it's an 81-year-old grandma telling her true story, and she's a non-actress in Russian.
I'm gonna cry.
And then you speak Russian.
I'm Polish. I'm like,
it's
grandma. It's gonna kill me. I'm
dude.
gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Dude, it kills me every time.
I'm gonna cry.
And then there's puppets, and then there's Marina and I, which is always a good time.
Always.
But all that being said, it's tough.
Yeah.
It takes a lot out of me because you have to. Acting is tough, and it takes a lot out of you. And truly, like
Understatement
there's not much
of
I
the
can
year.
say. Like it's true, and I have to absolutely work out. I have to work out the day that I perform. It could be yoga, it could be a run, it could be like a real yoga class, not just like some stretching. I have to lift weights. Like I have to do something physical. I'm very much in my body.
Out, right?
I grew up, but also I grew up dancing.
That's right. Ballet.
So for the first 15 years of my life, I danced ballet. So I trained my body to be physical. And all of a sudden now as an adult, I'm not. I'm like, excuse me, girl.
Yeah.
So I have to do that, and I have to stay away from alcohol because I love to party. And it drains me. Like I don't really get hungover, but I feel so depleted the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
I just feel down and I feel sad, and that's not a good way to act from. Like I found there's all this like, people are like, oh, when I'm sad or like a suffering artist, like that's when like the real, and I'm like, no, when you start at a base level of low, you can't go high from there. If you start from a base level of like peace, I feel safer to go to like deep lows, like deep depths of sadness, because I know that my real life is stable.
For sure.
Do you know? Like I know that there's a safe place to come back to. So I really have to make sure that during the run, and I do this on film sets also, I don't drink during production. And some people can. I'm always like, hey, good for you. We have a long day of shooting and then they have a few beers, but I can't, because the next morning I won't be 100%.
I can't either.
Yeah.
After we're done,
Yeah.
like we performed Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, I got drunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I handle pressure. I don't drink and I work out.
Got you. Yeah.
And
Those are two huge things not to do, or to do and not to.
Huge. And I try to meditate, but I don't get as much as I would like to.
Got you.
Because it's scary to like sit with your thoughts. So especially when I'm acting, because I really take on the role that I'm playing, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
Nope. I have to trust that I did the work.
Yeah. Oh.
It's in my body. It's gonna be there.
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh no, what did think about? No.
Yeah.
No thinking, just doing.
The work's done. At this point, the work's done.
Exactly. When you're on the field, like playing soccer, you're not running through all the plays. No, you're there in the moment.
You have to be.
You trust that you've trained. You trust that you're ready. You go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just talked a lot.
No, dude, that's how you handle pressure. That's how you deal with pressure.
Boom.
Yes.
Pressure player.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Damn. I think I'll do it quick. The way I deal with pressure is to remind myself of the present moment, to try and ground myself in the present. So like I'll actively like, it's stupid. It sounds stupid, but I'll be like, okay, but thank you. Sorry.
Punch yourself every time.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Find a new method of like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ouch.
Find a new method of hurting yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start talking nice, but I'm gonna punch myself every time.
Because I deserve that.
Yeah.
The blue brick wall, right? So it starts there. It's like, okay, there's some weird like power system over there, like grates, right?
I was like,
what are you talking
what
about?
is the blue brick wall?
Yeah, right there.
What is it? Oh,
But it's literally
there's a blue
present.
brick wall here.
Yes, and it's not stupid. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And then I'm present. I'm not thinking about the work because I've done the work. The work's done. I love running. That's something I do usually before a show or before anything. But if I'm there on the day and it's happening, it's like 5 minutes to start time. You get a 20 call, right? They're like, okay, Dave, 20. I'm like, all right, thank you. Thank you, 20. Then I'll be like, okay, present. Like I could start doing my preparation, but ultimately I have to relax and be present in the space I am now. That's the only time something's going to come through me, honestly. Otherwise it's going to be a thought. It's going to be a something I'm dreaming up. It's never off of the other person if I'm like here.
Yeah,
That's,
of course. Stop being you're in your own head instead of in the room.
If I'm saying, like, this is the lesson. If I'm saying a line in a script, in a story that I have to say in this moment, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm more honest if I catch that you have a gold watch and I'm saying the line to you, whatever the line is, to be or not to be, that is the question. while I'm taking in your gold watch. That's more honest of a moment than me like wrapping myself up in some crazy thought that isn't happening at all in the moment through an impulse. Zero of that.
100%.
So I just like to be present. I like to remind myself of what's actually happening around me in the moment. And that settles me down. The pressure's eased. I realize this isn't life or death, maybe. I don't know. That's how it helps me. I think of the present moment. I try to, as much as possible. That's like the reminder.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Huh. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. If you were stuck on a desert island
Hey.
for the rest of your life,
Oh, wow.
and you could only bring one book with you, what book would that be? And let's not be dramatic. Like you have all the food and shelter you need.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
Living the dream.
you're like, I mean, maybe
You're doing well.
maybe you're okay.
You're okay.
There's like a garden. Do you know what I mean? Like you have food.
Yeah. So you don't need like self-help books unless you want.
Hey, listen, it could be any
maybe
book.
Yeah. It could be this. I know. As a wisdom book. It could be anything. I'm saying you don't need a farm book to like an agriculture book to raise food. Yeah.
I guess I'm more interested in what is a book that you could continue reading for the rest of
And
your
get
life
something from
that you could get something from it like every time you read it again.
Yeesh.
That's tough.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to give you an easy question.
Oh, no.
And you're alone. You're just alone. You
Yeah,
just have
exactly.
this
You're
book.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No dog or anything?
Yes, you could have a dog.
You could have a dog.
You're allowed a
Yeah.
dog.
I think I would say I'm gonna just trust impulse and instinct right now. Tuesday, no. For one more day, Mitch album. I think that'd be the book I'd pick.
I have not read that book.
I'll get a copy for you. I have
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Huh.
You can look it up. I don't even know if I should talk about it. It just I think because of the alone
Text
thing.
me the
I think
name.
about the alone thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this would remind me of my mother. And like I could go through that a bunch. Which is like a ton of stuff for me. But that book gives me a lot of peace. And I think every time I would pick it up, I'd have that peace from the separation and from like unresolved things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So I think it would be that book.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't think I could even think of one.
Trust your gut, dude.
Bro, it could be, I don't know. Truly, it could be
It
anything.
could be anything. No, it doesn't even have to have a reason. If it's just
The
something you're feeling.
encyclopedia of all the F words.
The Bible.
Oh, my God. This is going to make no sense, but it would. It's just so stupid.
No.
I used to read this. I don't know why I thought of this, but I used to read. Do you know like those Discovery Kids books?
100%.
And they had they had like animals, mammals.
Absolutely.
The
I
amphibians
was
book.
Deep in those.
The amphibians book.
The amphibians?
Oh, that's good.
Platypus?
I remember the cover was just this frog with red eyes,
Ooh.
and I loved it.
Yeah.
So I would read that. Why not?
Sick.
Maybe catch a frog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
dude.
see.
That's great.
I think it's smart. I'm on an island.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up? It's magic.
I love it. I like that you took us back to that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
You remember the
It's
cover?
weird.
Yeah.
You know,
dude.
I want to get that book now.
Well, I'll find it for you.
No, you won't.
I will.
It's fine.
I will. If you want it, I'll find it. I'm curious now. Irina, what book would you
what about
take
you?
on this island?
As soon as I asked the question, I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to answer now too. And my gut instinct reaction, whatever, is The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, man. That's a
yeah,
great
that's
one.
good.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Don, not taking this.
Yeah, right? No, but see, that's the thing. This book is good for when we're reading, when we're living in the real world.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like the monk. Like we
Yeah.
don't have to go off to a Buddhist monastery or any kind of monastery. It's not like it's when people go on the retreats and they're like, oh, I'm my best self. And then they come back into the real world and like they're not anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So this book is great. It's to remind you to be your best self here with other people. But like, I don't need self-help books on a desert island.
Yeah.
I'm good. I
You're
want to read The
Gucci
Lord of the
with that
Rings.
book. Yeah.
Because I can
yeah.
read it
that-
over and over. And like my dad used to read it to me as a
See,
kid.
there it is.
And it's just like so good and like dense and rich. And there's like war and love and a happy ending and, you know, my precious and just so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your dad used to read that to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. Cool. Good. Cool. And it's
Shut up,
time to
Yeah,
wrap
that's
up.
our-
Wait a
I'm
second. Wait.
tired.
We got a couple more.
Oh, just
gotta
kidding.
wrap it up.
Just
Rapid
kidding.
fire. Rapid fire.
David DeGroat, shout out. Love you, dog. He just brought this up. He didn't know how to turn it into a question, so I'm just going to paraphrase. He said, when you're working hard at your job and you're trying to move basically up the ladder, but you're being taken advantage of. So if you feel like you've been taken advantage of at your workplace in some capacity,
You fight everyone.
when you're actively trying to do your best and like, up the ladder and be like climbing. How do you deal with that? I guess he wanted to ask her, like, what would you do? Dave, I don't know what you're going through, man, but if you...
But I'm just $50 an hour.
Yeah, you can speak to this lovely woman right here, the licensed therapist, Irina Gorovaia.
I think I don't know. When I went in, from that question, I worked in, what's it called? The restaurant business, serving.
Yep.
That's what I came to first.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, people, whoever gets the high sales gets the most, benefits, money, everything.
Right. The raise.
And I don't know, for me, one thing I'm very proud of for myself, I always work 100%
Yeah.
on everything I do.
Yeah. You
So-
do. You for sure do.
At least if like that, I always learn that hard work in those kinds of jobs. And a lot of things in life, it always,
Always do your best.
makes me.
I was
happy.
literally
Yeah.
just thinking the part of the book
Yeah.
you didn't agree with or didn't like at first is the thing that you do all the time.
Yeah.
This is the theme of this podcast, man.
We're just hypocrites.
You
We're just
fucked
all
us
hypocrites. Yeah.
what?
Up. You fucked us up.
Why?
This has been a whole, like, you've taken the podcast and it's turned into a therapy session for us in like this crazy way. You're like, read this book, Dave. I think you really got something there. And then like 2 weeks later, dude, I literally
We're doing everything we
underlined
hate.
this thing and it makes so much sense to what you just did. Whoa. You did that. You did it.
I'm like, why are we going to make this about me? Let's make this
Yeah,
about
what
you.
the hell?
The human
you
mind,
going
yeah,
through?
you really did that. This says a lot. This says a lot.
that's
Now
the-
we're pointing at you. Where are you going to
Yo,
run,
that's the hypocritical thing about you. You're like, oh, it's about me, but it's actually about us.
Yes.
That's messed
There
up.
it is. Okay. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. Seed planter. The seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. I'm aware of you now. Now I'm on to this.
You know what's crazy? From that,
Okay.
when I read that seed thing, I don't know why, but I've made it. I got a piece of scrap paper as my bookmark, right? And this is your little picture of what I felt after the first chapter.
Yeah. What'd you draw?
And it's weird. It's this.
Ooh, Mike.
I love that.
Because I don't know. I felt like we were always like inflicting poison on others and ourselves.
Whoa.
So we're kind of like this diseased being thing.
Yeah, but there's always flowers too.
But then the seeds is
Yeah.
what we get
Mikey.
through all the things.
And the truth is, you keep planting these seeds
Yeah.
in your body, like good seeds. Soon they're going to grow into
Yeah.
like huge trees and flowers and like beautiful things.
Yeah.
Fruit trees, they're going to keep giving.
Yeah.
It is late. No, I have advice. What was his name? David?
David. Keeping this.
That's his bookmark.
It's mine now.
Take your pen.
That's really tough because you want to do your best, right? And when people take advantage of you, you're like, excuse me.
Yeah.
But you have to remember your own boundaries. So I don't know what kind of job you have, but if your job is to, I don't know if you're a copywriter or if you're, what does he do? Do you know?
I don't know right now. I met him through the serving industry, food industry, back in the day. So I don't know what he's up to right now. I don't know.
But whatever
Dave.
I'm sure you know what your job description is. So you
Right.
can just as easily go back to it and be like, hey, I've actually been doing more than this. And I just want you to recognize that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I remember in the bar industry, I told them that I was like available all the time. So they would put me on all the worst shifts.
Oh, okay.
Then I was like, guys, I get it. I get it. I'm new. You're going to give me all like Sunday night until 4 a.m. However, I've been showing up and I've been doing this, and I'd really appreciate if you'd also give me a weekend night shift.
You spoke up for yourself.
Yeah, like you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because yes, sure, our friends have our back, but also you have to have your back.
Absolutely.
So if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you could speak up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, people don't like being called out. So like, do it.
Yeah.
If someone's treating you not nice, you can be like, hey,
Yeah.
you know how you asked me to cover all your shifts and I do? How about you do that for me?
Yep.
Or how about you don't assume that I'm always going to like pick up your slack?
Yep.
That's my advice for you, David.
Yeah, that's great advice. I had no better advice than that.
For sure.
How about you, Mikey?
Did I say something already?
Yeah, you did, I think.
What about
Sorry.
you, dog?
Sorry. No, I mean, that piece of advice is exactly what I'd say. I just repeat what you would say. What you had said.
Yeah, you also did give advice.
Yeah, I kind of did.
We all did, right?
Yeah.
It's
Are there
getting
more
real late.
questions?
All right. Is there any more?
Ooh, getting weird.
Ooh, I like this. I'm keeping this. I really am keeping this.
All right.
I think that's all the questions. Am I wrong? No, that's all the questions for now. That's all
That
the questions.
reminds me of, have you seen the movie Annihilation?
No.
Ooh, if you guys are into weird movies, watch Annihilation.
Okay.
It's that you're going to see a human covered with flowers.
Ooh, seeds.
Yeah.
I want to read one thing to you, and then you can do whatever you want. You can leave. You can stay. Whatever.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's just a beautiful piece of writing, and I read. It's such a tiny thing, but I really was moved by it, and I just wanted to read it.
Close this out, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two things. Sorry.
You're going to keep
Two
adding
things are good.
It's quick things. Dostoevsky.
Hey.
Talk nonsense, but talk your own nonsense, and I'll kiss you for it. To go wrong in your own way is better than to go right in someone else's.
Yes, my boy just That's great.
Isn't
Thank
that
you.
just some way to live? Isn't that a
That's
beautiful way to live?
good.
What do you get from that, Mike?
Just want to be me, man.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
better than living a life for somebody else.
Also,
even if
walk
you're
your
wrong for
path.
Yes. Yeah.
Walk yours. Make your mistakes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And then this is Fitzgerald. It's a beautiful snapshot of like, I guess just being in love with a person. I want to know you moved and breathed in the same world with me. That's F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Wait, read that one more time.
Mikey. I will. I want to know you moved and breathed in the same world with me. I just think it's a very, very simple yet poetic way of describing a true care and desire to just totally be with another person. Like that's all he's speaking about.
Dave, I'm so impressed. You literally just summed up our entire podcast. Number 1,
Wow.
be yourself. Number 2, we're all in this together.
Wow, thanks, dude.
Do you know what I mean?
Thanks,
Like
dude.
literally, that was it.
Wow.
was it.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god.
That was it. That nice.
Wow.
Now for number 3, because 3 is a great number.
Hit it.
I memorized this poem as a girl.
yes.
It's only there's 2 stanzas. I don't remember the second stanza. We could look it up,
Okay.
but like this is the
You
only
want to?
part that I remember. No, it's fine. It's by Langston Hughes.
Oh, Langston.
Hold fast to dreams, for if they die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. And then there's a second stanza, something else, but this is the only part that I remember. I did a huge art project for it as a little girl, and I still remember it.
Wow.
So I'm like, psh, there you go.
Thank you, dude.
Wow.
Have to have the last
Keep
word.
the dreams alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for them, though.
That was beautiful.
Episode 36 of the You Are Your Podcast.
I don't have a poem, but I do have the closer.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
So here it goes. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 36 of the podcast. Oh my, I feel like drained almost.
Did you? Yeah, it was a
But I
good
feel
one.
good.
That was a good one.
I feel full.
Yeah, me too.
Of
Fulfilled.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube with the video, Anchor.fm, and every other podcast platform that you can listen on. www.youareherepodcast.co. We could not afford the M.
Thank you guys
And
so much.
I wanna bring it. Irina, if you have anything else you want to put in, plug in,
let's
boom,
plug the
say
plug one more
whatever you
time.
want.
And we're going
I'm
to put the ticket link.
So grateful that you guys asked me to do this, but also I'm so grateful that you do this. Like I know that you're sponsored now, but truly, thank you. Hey, thank you that you do this.
Thanks,
thank you
dude.
that
Thank you.
you bring people in to actually get to talk to them and you listen, and that's awesome. That's so cool that you're doing it just to do it. You know, like creating for the sake of creating. That's fascinating.
Thank you, dude.
So I appreciate you doing this, and I appreciate you bringing me in today.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
for coming.
Thank you so
And
much.
again, I'm a huge fan, and I believe in you a lot.
Hey,
so
I believe in you, and you
thank
too
you.
now,
Thank you.
mister.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I believe in you guys too.
There's a lot of sharing here.
Sick.
Thank you. Oh, you are here, podcast episode 36. Thank you for listening. I don't even know what to say.
I'm Mike, I'm out.
right now. And I'm Dave, and I love y'all.
Me too. Bye.